Honestly, just eat the batteries. I heard they're healthy for you.
Slaps. It goes feral. Just unplug the thing and I'll plug my mic into it.
Bro goes, it goes feral.
Oh, okay.
He says it goes feral.
Just slam that.
Back out to Allen. His return. Into it. Pass is caught. Diggs. Sideline. Touchdown. There. Van one around in front. England is shot. Is this the dagger?
Welcome back to another indubitable episode of On the Clock. Today we have some absolutely feral topics that we'll be getting into. First, we have the Broncos sucking. Jace, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, the Broncos not doing too good. Is there anything now? How can they fix it?
Honestly, I'm not sure. They've scored 75 points this entire season, which is 31st in the league. They're only ahead of the Colts, which I also expected the Colts to do a lot better than they are doing now, and obviously they're not. So I think red zone offense, and just offense in general. Russell Wilson has also been sacked 16 times, which is a lot. That's sixth most in the league.
Yeah, their defense has looked, pretty good. For what their offense is putting up in points, their defense has pretty much covered it to try and help them out in these close games. But it doesn't help when Javonte tore his ACL the other day. That didn't help the team's offense at all. But I think that Russ just needs to, he just seems to not be delivering like he did over in Seattle. And maybe they need to make some trades, change stuff up. But I don't know how they're going to fix this or speed it up. But it needs to happen soon if they want to have a playoff chances.
You were talking about trades. Is there any trade who to kind of go for?
Well, so with Matt Rule out in Carolina, we'll touch on that in just a minute. But I'm almost wondering, because Carolina also hasn't seemed competitive this year. Yeah, I'm wondering if they don't just sell all their assets and just eat their losses and rebuild. So I would be interested in possibly a Javonte Williams and picks for Christian McCaffrey. I feel like that could help both parties, because if the Panthers aren't going to be competitive this year, they can have Javonte later next year after he recovers. Not saying that might happen. It's just an idea that came across my mind with the best interest of both parties. So move on to the Dolphins. That situation is kind of ugly, but in that they have probably the best quarterback in the league in Skylar Thompson. My guy Skylar went out and threw 19 of 33 for 166 yards and a pick. They did end up losing the game. I think it was 17-40, but they were competitive against the Jets. Scotty, did you look at that game at all?
I did. It was. Sauce looked really good. I think that they have the two players on their team, two rookies that are really looking to go for Rookie of the Year this year, in Breece Hall and Sauce. But I think Sauce, the first play of the game, really asserted how dominant of a player he's going to be in the league by getting that safety on Teddy Bridgewater. And then the Dolphins trying to fight with as much power as they could with a third-string quarterback in. Loves Skylar, just has no experience in the NFL, and he's getting used to it still and has to really practice with these guys to understand how to work with them and play with them. So we'll see how he does next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation will be like, if Tua Tagovailoa will be back, or if it will be Teddy, or if it'll be the answer in Skylar Thompson.
You're an amazing quarterback, like 1.6 fantasy points, by the way.
Fantasy points say a lot about a player, but him, he's not a fantasy guy. He's kind of like a modern-day Tom Brady, if I'm thinking about it. But
okay, buddy.
Also on that game, you were talking about Breece Hall a little bit. Finally, his kind of breakthrough game this week.
Oh, yeah, Breece Hall, he's had a few pretty decent games, and then this game he really stepped up. Had 97 rushing yards and then 100 receiving yards, 197 total scrimmage yards. Those 100 receiving yards came off of only 2 receptions. He had a big reception for about 80 yards, 60, 70 yards. It was a big one. But that really helped his case out, had a really big week, and I think he's going to move forward with this. I think he looks like their back. I think it hurts him with the touches Michael Carter's getting, but I really think Breece Hall's stepping into that RB1 role over there in New York.
Yeah, we were preparing for the show yesterday, and we were looking at what was it, the next gen stats, and he had the routes, and he was outside, and just if they would give him the ball outside every play, dude, I'm pretty sure it's a one-play touchdown, because that's what it looked like from that. But
Looked like a real route.
yeah, I'm no expert, but okay. Talking about another quarterback stepping in, Cooper Rush, now 4-0 or 5-0 as a starter.
I think it's 4-0.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that situation?
Honestly, keep starting him. Like, if he's doing this well as a backup quarterback with a Dak out, like, just keep playing him until he loses. Like, there's nothing. I mean, you can't really like sit a quarterback after they're doing like this pretty well as a backup. So I mean.
Yeah, they did just pay Dak, which might be a big factor in who starts. But yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Jerry Jones, the media talked to Jerry about this and asked him what his thoughts were, and he was really open to a quarterback competition in this offense. Yes, they've paid him a whole lot, but he's really open to this and wants to see where it can go. But I think as long as Cooper Rush wins and they don't take him out too early, because I think if Dak comes in and loses, I think the media has a lot of say on that and really just like ruins that offense kind of, and just, I don't know. I think they'd start Cooper Rush until he loses or until he shows signs of not being a strong quarterback like they think Dak would be.
Yeah, that's an interesting situation over there because you have two quarterbacks that look to be capable of starting, and then same thing with the running backs in Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. And then in a league where fantasy-wise, we're going to move into that for just a second. There's no real safe bets to start at tight end besides Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, and I guess Darren Waller. Like, everybody thought Pitts might be that fourth guy, and he hasn't been. I started David Njoku over him, partially because he was out, but I wasn't planning on starting him this week regardless. So is there anybody outside of those three who's a must-start every week?
I mean, I don't see any must-starts. I think Conklin's been doing pretty good this year.
Yeah.
He's been solid. This past week he has 0 points, but other than that, he's gone for like 11, 13-ish.
He's getting a lot of targets, like a lot of workhorse in that offense.
He's looked like a decent tight end option, but other than that, I think Taysom Hill, he came off of a big 3-touchdown week. He's had week 1, he had 17 points. I don't know if it's a must start, but I think he's a tight end that if you're looking for upside and you have nothing else on your tight ends for upside, I think you play Taysom Hill and hope for a big game.
Not a do-it-all type of guy.
Yeah, and then let's see. James Madison University is now ranked in their first season in the FBS. They started 5-0 and they won their first games 107-14 combined score. They also beat App State, our team, who at the time had beaten number 5 Texas A&M. Any thoughts on that? Kind of a cool storyline.
Just a team that you just didn't really see making into the top 25, I guess. I mean, coming off of, they beat App State, App State's beat some teams that, I mean, it's a good win. They beat Texas A&M, good win. And I think that James Madison, that win over App State, really boosted them up the ranks a little bit, and they've been winning since then, and I think it really helps them.
Yeah, Jace, any little thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like how James Madison's doing. It's them beating Appalachian State kind of makes me sad that Scotty's team and our team's all fallen, but I like how they're playing. They beat number 5 at Texas A&M. They've scored 107 points. Like
in the first 2 games. That's not their season total. That's their first 2 games.
We definitely welcomed them into the FBS season. So.
Yeah. Last 2 topics or 3 topics here. We got Rashad Penny out for the season. I'm going to throw up a picture of a trade I made last week. I absolutely won that. I traded Amon-Ra St. Brown for Najee Harris and Kenneth Walker in our Dynasty League. Kenneth Walker was the 41st overall pick and second running back taken in this past year's draft. Any fantasy impact or real impact? He fractured his fibula and he's out for the year.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker will be getting a lot of touches now. So that'll be good for fantasy owners that have Kenneth Walker. He was a 41st pick in the draft, so he'll get a lot of touches.
So I think this really helped his case out because I think coming into the season, it was kind of between him and Rashad Penny for touches. Kenneth Walker just got back from an injury at the beginning of the season, and I think this really helps his case for his rookie debut, his rookie year. And I think moving forward, he'll be a solid running back in this league. I think he really showed upside in this past week.
Yeah, I traded for him with no intentions of ever starting him this year. I kind of did it for Najee because I needed another back, but he's welcome on the roster, and I'm excited to start him this week. Then we touched on Matt Rule getting fired. Any thoughts on where he could end up? Jace, I think you mentioned Nebraska earlier.
Yeah, Nebraska's needing a head coach. I mean, I don't really see Matt going to any other NFL team. I mean, I don't see.
I could see him joining as like an assistant. But
Yeah, not really a head coach position core way through the season. I mean, if something opens up, he might try to go for it. But yeah, I'm seeing like Nebraska offer him quite a bit of money. So, I mean, other than that, I don't know where else he might go.
Yeah, and Scotty?
I mean, just hasn't had success in the NFL. Either he wants to stay in the NFL business, be a backup, or move on to college, do other things. I don't know.
Yep, and then our last NFL subject for today, the Chiefs game on Monday night. What did you guys think about that?
Really slow start. I think me and Jace over here, we were in a class, but I was still watching the game. And I think they started off really slow. Raiders came out into this game and said that they were going to start with a pace, get ahead early, and make sure they're not battling back from under. Started off 17-0. I think that really helped them, except for the fact that they were playing Patrick Mahomes. He's done this in the playoffs before. This is his biggest comeback in the regular season he's ever had in his career, from 17 down. And I think he does special things with Travis Kelce, who had 4 touchdowns.
Career high.
Career high, yeah. And only 25 receiving yards. Every one of them came within 8 yards.
Yeah.
He had an 8-yard receiving touchdown, 1 yard, 2 yard, and I think another 1 yard or something like that. It was all within those 8 yards. So it was pretty cool watching the Chiefs battle back in that game, and I think they just looked like they're dominant themselves in the second half.
Yeah, I feel like with Mahomes, we're never out of any game, and I was never panicked or flustered. You can just take my word for that. But I never felt like we were out of that game at any point. Jace?
Yeah, we've come back from a 20-point or 24-point against Houston with him. So I mean, I'm not afraid of big deficits. I know he can come back with anything. But one thing I saw was the refs. There's a call that Chris Jones basically sacked him and stripped him, and then called roughing the passer. Like the quarterback didn't even have the ball.
Yeah, my dad was telling me he saw a stat. Chris Jones is the first player to have the ball in his hands ever and be called for roughing the passer.
Yep.
So, I don't think that was the right call, but ultimately we still ended up getting the win. I think if we would have lost, we would be talking a lot more about that call right now.
Yeah, no. I mean, Devontae Adams is a good player. He drew like 3 or 4 different pass interference calls, just getting in the way and drawing him. So.
Yeah, that last one, the very last play.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I don't think it was pass interference because I think they just simply ran into each other. But
Renfro and Adams.
Yeah, but we got out of there and we're 4-1. 4-1, yeah.
Better to win ugly, like you said.
Yeah, better to win ugly than to lose pretty. Talking about winning ugly, we're going to talk about number 17, K-State. Iowa State got wiggity waxed by the Style Boys, and K-State is now 5-1 atop of the Big 12. They won 10-9. They gave up no touchdowns. It's better to win ugly than to lose pretty, like our boys KU. But Deuce had a very quiet game. It was a little different style of a game. He had 10 carries for, I think it was like 23 yards, but he had a couple receptions. Phillip Brooks had a very nice game with 4 receptions for 119 yards and a touchdown. He broke, on the third play of the game, he broke one off for 81 yards and a touchdown. Jace, KU, man, first loss of the year. It's unfortunate, but it was kind of due. But any thoughts on that?
Kansas' perfect season comes to end. Sucks to see our Heisman winner, Jalon Daniels, out with a shoulder injury. I'm pretty sure it's an AC tear in his shoulder. But Jason Bean time, baby, steps in the field, and he was amazing. He was 16 for 24 for 262 yards with 4 touchdowns and only 1 interception. On the receiving side for Kansas, Quentin Skinner had 4 receptions for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Helped us out quite a bit. There wasn't much offense in the first half. It was only 10-3 going into half. TCU's favored, and then after that, it started going we started the offense going. Max Dugan for TCU went 23 of 33 for 308 yards and 3 touchdowns and also 1 interception. Clinton Johnson though scores to go up with 1:36 left in the game. So kind of sad to see us lose, but still ranked 19 after losing. Kansas travels to Norman to take on 3-3 Sooners at 12 on Saturday, and then TCU is home to take on 5-0 Cowboys at 12:30.
Yep, and then I forgot to mention this with K-State, but K-State has bye week. So Deuce Vaughn, call me up if you need me to donate any limbs. I do have a bad left knee, so you're not going to want that. We're going to go to halftime real quick, and we will be back.
Rosehill Family Dentistry is a dentist office located on 106 East Yeager Street. They're open Monday through Friday, typically from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Their passion is to make sure their patients are happy, healthy, and able to achieve a confident, amazing smile. They care for all ages, ranging from toddlers to even great-great-grandparents. You can contact them at 316-776-2144.
Welcome back, everybody. As you know, the start of the NBA season is right around the corner. So we're going to first start off by telling you who our allegiances lie with and kind of a reason why. So, Scotty, you want to go first?
Me personally, I know it's weird. We're not near Toronto at all, but I'm a Toronto Raptors fan. I'm a Wichita State guy. So when my boy Fred VanVleet, my favorite Wichita State player of all time, when he was undrafted, signed with the Raptors, made the team, I really started to watch the Raptors a lot and just became a fan in 2016. And since they won the title, really happy about that. But I think coming in this year, we look pretty decent. I think we'll be an all right team. I think Scotty Barnes is going to step into a role this year and really just be a solid team.
Yeah, for myself, I also started kind of following the NBA in 2016. I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, for those of you that don't know. At first I was kind of a bandwagoner. My brother was a Golden State Warriors fan, and I was kind of tired of, his team winning all the time. So, I picked the Cavs, and then, the Cavs ended up beating them in the finals. But I stuck with them when LeBron left, and they are my team now. We got a great starting four. That small forward is kind of, it's going to be interesting this year. But I think we're definitely primed for a top seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs this year. Jace?
I'm a Thunder fan. I mean, we're in Kansas, so I like Kansas schools. So I'm a Thunder fan. I mean, I might start watching Utah a little bit now that my boy Ochai's there, but other than that, I got OKC. I know Chet is out for the season now, so that kind of stinks, our pick. But other than that, I feel like we'll be in the middle. I feel like we won't do much, but
yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of separation this year for tanking for Victor. What is it, Wembanyama? Yeah. Some are saying he's better than LeBron as a prospect, but I don't know. We got to kind of see him play a little bit this year. I'm not totally in on him yet, but I'm not saying he's not going to be a good player in this league. So, Jace, do you want to start us out first with your Eastern Conference predictions, your top 5 seeds?
So start with the East. Number 1 pick, I got the Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, Brooklyn, and then the Heat.
Scotty?
I got the Bucks on top. I think Giannis will come out and just be a dominant player like he always has. And then I got Heat, Celtics, Raptors, and then the Cavs. I think the Raptors, my team. I know it sounds biased, but I think Freddie's going to lead them pretty far this year.
Yeah. Freddie's in the MVP race for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Out East, I got the Bucks, Cavs, Celtics, Nets, and Sixers. Moving on to the West. Scotty, you want to go ahead and lead us with that one?
Yeah, check out the Warriors, the defending champs. Just Steph Curry's amazing. Then Grizzlies, young team, do really good this year. Suns, Mavs, Pelicans, I have in there, stuck in there. I think Zion's going to come off and he could average 25 to 30 this year.
Yeah.
Most improved, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would definitely give him a very good case for most improved player. Or if the NBA had some sort of comeback player award, which they don't. At West, I have my 1 seed is the Warriors, 2 seed is the Suns, 3 is the Mavs, 4 is Grizzlies, 5 is Clippers. I don't think the Lakers are going to perform very well this year. I think they might get an 8 or 9 seed. I just don't think Anthony Davis is going to stay healthy. Westbrook is, I think we said this on the podcast. He's sadly just not himself anymore, which
Not
is
as explosive.
Yeah, which is disappointing because we grew up watching Westbrook and
Big Westbrook fan.
But I think they can sneak into the playoffs too. But I don't have them breaking into my top 5.
Yeah, in the West, I got the Warriors, Suns, Memphis Grizzlies, the Clippers, and the Pelicans. Yeah, I also have the Pelicans sneaking in there with Zion.
Yes, and then we have some MVP predictions. Scotty, you want to go first?
So my MVP, I think this should be everyone's MVP. Fred VanVleet, just an absolute unit.
Mm-hmm.
Guy's going to step up this year, average about 25. He's averaged 20 his whole career. I think he goes for maybe even 30. The assists are flowing. He has 9, 10 assists. Rebounds about 6 or 7. I think he puts up those MVP numbers.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go a little bit different here. Your guy was undrafted. My guy was taken in the first round. My guy is, a proven winner, proven champion, just like yours. But I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I do think voters' fatigue could play a factor in this. Just he's won the award multiple times, but the numbers don't lie. I think he can beat out Jokic and Luka and all them and really have a strong case for MVP this year.
Yeah, I like how you said the second name, Luka. Fred VanVleet, who is that? Giannis, know about him. He's all right. Luka Doncic, he's averaging like 28 this year. He's going to average 28, 9, and 5. He's gonna be that guy. So can't wait to watch him lead the Mavs.
Yeah, and talking about proven guys, we're going to move over to some younger guys. Who you got for Rookie of the Year this year?
I got Jaden Ivey. I really liked him coming out of Purdue. I think he just looked like a solid prospect, and then kind of an underrated prospect too. I think he went 5th overall in the draft, or towards the middle, right there. But I think he's just a solid player, and he's on the pitch. I think he's really going to prove himself alongside with Cade. And I think he wins his Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Paulo. I think he's probably the most NBA-ready player in this draft. I think he's got enough talent to bring home that Rookie of the Year award to Orlando.
Yeah, you said readiness, and I just thought about the 2022 or 2021, 2022 champions. Ochai Agbaji, baby. He's now in Utah, drafted by Cavs, traded the Donovan Mitchell trade. I see him and Gobert in the race.
Gobert's not there anymore. He got traded to
you're right.
Memphis. Minnesota.
He's still in there, though. He's still a Rookie of the Year.
Yep. All right. We're going to move on to Defensive Player of the Year. I have my Cavs guy, Evan Mobley. Guy is a dog. If this was a 2-person award, everybody knows where it'd be going. It'd be going to the Cleveland Bigs. You got Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. I think he's going to be a beast this year, and he's also going to be my most improved player.
Kind of a boring pick for me, but Rudy Gobert. I think he's just, one of those defensive-based guys in the NBA, and now he's on Minnesota alongside Cat. I think Cat's going to be more of a forward this year, and Gobert's just going to be sitting in that inside post. I just absolutely a defensive monster down there this year in Minnesota, so I have him winning that.
Yeah, I got Bam Adebayo. He's just you could say he could be a point guard. He's just he is skill big. He's a skilled big. So big defense, long wingspan. He can protect that paint.
Yep, and then sixth man, Scotty and I, we've got the same guy here. You can talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, Tyler Hero. I think any other team, he would not be a sixth man. I think that the Miami just sees him as a good sixth man and how deep they are. But I think he's just a proven player and will do really good this year.
Yeah, and then we got Jace jumping on the bandwagon. What are your thoughts on Jordan Poole?
I'm not really jumping on bandwagons, but it's Jordan Poole. If he's definitely gonna be a sixth man. Unless someone happens to get hurt. He's a really good shooter. He can space the floor out, Steph Curry can pass him the ball, shoot, score. You feel?
Yep, and then I already said my most improved, but my most improved player is Evan Mobley. I feel like that rookie to sophomore year, he's going to take a big jump, and the Cavs are going to jump up considerably in the playoffs, and I think that'll be backed by a deep playoff run. And then Jace?
I mean, I don't have the Cavs in my top 5, but I like what I see from Evan Mobley. Like he's up there. So.
Scotty, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I grabbed Zion on this one. I'm big on Zion this year. I think he's finally going to have a healthy season. He's had a whole off season to kind of prepare for it. I think this year he's going to come in and have a full season, 42 games, and just be a dominant player. And I think if he averages what I think he will, like 25, I think even if he averages 20, he'll be most improved. But I think Zion got this one.
All right, we are going to head to commercial break, and we will be back with Rocket Sports.
It's been 2 days, no food, no water. We're so hungry, parched. Oh my God, Adam, look. Holy crap, it's Louis. Dude, is that a burger restaurant? Oh my God, dude, we gotta go. We gotta go. Oh my God. I'm so hungry, dude. I'm so hungry. Finally. Dude, food. No!
Restaurant. Louis Cafe is located in the middle of Rose Hill near the train tracks at 107 South Rose Hill Road. It is open from 11 to 8 Monday through Saturday. Louis serves American cuisine and fried chicken. You can also reach Louis at 316-776-9005.
Welcome back. We do not have an episode of Come On Man this week, but we are going to touch on some Rocket sports. The Rocket football team played their homecoming game against El Dorado. It was a hard-fought battle, and they won. The Rockets are now 3-3, going to Buhler this Friday to move up in the playoff rankings. The Rockets and Buhler are tied for the 6th place spot. Jace?
Volleyball is home today, playing Andale. They have a pretty good Fairchild is against Andale, so come out support. It's senior night.
You got your Rocket soccer team at home tonight against El Dorado. Should hopefully be a good game. But your Rocket soccer team looks to come out of this one, go 9-4-1 on the season, with 2 tough games to finish off the year.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching On the Clock, and we will be back this Friday with a podcast and another episode on Rocket Productions next Tuesday. Thank you.